Welcome everybody, welcome. I'm just going to tell you what's happening through this motivation of this whole entire reading. Today is a very significant day of what I was going through. This is a long-term relationship between another person and me, okay? Now, I know that all my fans will say who I'm dating or whatever, but this is a very processed feeling, okay? A very processed feeling. Because in other words, it seems to be how this is going to remain. This is how it's going to be prompting and everything else. And, this is how it seems to be. I know that we have our good days, bad days, but I'm going to describe you something into this situation. If you're a Sagittarius, you're on the left side. If you're a Scorpio, you're on the right side. So if this between a man and a woman situation, it is. Okay? So Scorpio is a water sign and Sagittarius is a fire sign. Sometimes they go together, but then sometimes they don't. Right? So you can see the concept. Now while I'm shuffling all these cards, let me tell you something that long-term relationships are kind of okay, but they seem to be a little bit significant that is very different. Okay? Sometimes whenever you have a long-term relationship with somebody, okay, you have to face your own dignity of knowing what's happening through the other person. You have to face your own abilities of knowing from right and wrong. Okay? If the person is acting like there's something wrong to this picture, and there's something that is very badly, or something that doesn't add up right, you have to do that exactly you can, because in other words, you have to be prompted. You have to know exactly what you can do. There's nothing to see it as a way and say, okay, well, you're doing this, or you're doing that, or you're doing this, and blah blah blah. This is how I'm going to start this as a wonderful feeling. Everyone can understand about why Zoe Alex is kind of upset or, this is how I'm going to explain my whole entire reading of the story. Or I don't know how long this reading is going to be, but if it is, then understand the whole entire concept. Because you never know that you probably are in this situation too. If you're dating a person and that person is acting all nice and then all of a sudden they don't act nice, there's something wrong to that, you know? And you have to see it in your own person's views. Because I've been there so many times, okay? And whenever it is wrong, you have to see it, because whether you did something wrong, and it happens. It happens about that dynamic, because this is how it seems to be. So you could see a concept and you know that, oh, well, there's something into this dynamic, right? You think that if everything seems to be all happy, 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 and you think, oh, well, there's something happy, or there's something that's not good, or there is something that's very bad. You think that there's something that's not good, right? Because you think that everything seems to be fine or dandy or whatever. But you have to get to the point where you can understanding of what's happening through another person's eyes. Like I can read people from their vibes. their words. If there's something that is very negative, I can't draw into that. If something's positive, I draw into that. There is a difference. You have to read the other person's body language. It's the words of you can do that, you know, because it's the simple way of how you can understand of what's happening, you know. You have to read between the lines. You have to know exactly if the person is acting right or maybe someone else is acting wrong, you know. You have to get it through your own way of how you can do that, because you have to feel it. You have to know that you can do that as long as you need to, you know, and you have to think of it. Like this is not fun and games. This is not. But in other words, you have to do that as a wonderful feeling, you know? Because in other words, if you had a long-term relationship and if it involves a Sagittarius or a Scorpio, well then, let me explain. Because in that words, you have to do that as long as you need to. It's the way of how you can progress, understand about what's happening, right? And you have to see it as your own way because that's just how it is, right? And yeah, I'm not trying to cry on camera, no, but I'm trying to explain of what's happened on on what happened to me today, you know. And I'll tell you what's happening. But first things first, and plus I'm drinking my mocha, my coffee slash hot chocolate, because it's good. Plus it helps my anxiety and my depression and what's happening with that. And I'm going to shuffle my playing cards as well. Trying to see who's falling in this situation too. But I'll tell you the whole entire story. So this is going to be from the beginning, the middle, and the end, and this is how it's going to be. So you can feel it and understand this because this is a very significant on how everything is. One more. All right, so let's start this, shall we? Let's start. So we have new moon in Pisces, new moon in Sagittarius. It's focused on the positive. That's what this is the left side of Sagittarius. The right side is new moon in Scorpio. Go deeper. This is how it seems to be. Okay. So these are the emotions. Let's see. Empathy. I open to seeing both sides of a situation. This is for Sagittarius. Okay. Interesting. Now on the right side we have service. I feel good when I can help others. Yeah, see, this is how it's going to be. There are two different sides of a story. So I'm going to explain it through the tarot section. I'll explain it towards the oracle section. And this is how it seems to be, okay? This is very interesting of how it goes. You just have to learn as it should be, okay? We're going to look at these almost at the end of the video, but this is how it goes, okay? So we are going to look at maybe the Sagittarius side or the Scorpio side, whether it is this side or this side, okay? So we're going to do one card only to see what's happening between both sides. So we have the Hierophant that's reversed. Okay, so we know that there's something wrong to this situation, right? Now, a Hierophant looks like it almost represents almost being a hero, but now you're not being a hero. Okay. Now, what's the opposite of the Sagittarius side? And what's the opposite of the Scorpio side? Sagittarius side is the Queen of Cups reversed. Yeah, see, there's something wrong, right? So she's acting like there's something wrong to that, right? And on the Scorpio side, the Four of Swords reversed. Yeah, see, basically that person is not resting. Okay, so Scorpio's not resting. So, you see how this is very significant on how it goes. You think, okay, everything's fine. But you know what? This is not. You have to progress with the whole entire situation, right? You've been there, done that several times, and it's the truth, and it's that way, that concept, that release system, right? And this is how it kind of is, right? Because you have to know what you're going to do next, and this is how it seems to be. So you know that okay, everything seems to be fine, but then not really. So now what's the opposite of this? So we have the word that's reversed, which means there's incompletion. And on the right side you have the devil that's reversed. So you have no violence, nothing. Okay? Now you think, okay, well, there's no violence. So, you have to remember that when you are incomplete with something and you have no violence or no violation or nothing, you have to impose that, right? So now you understand that this is like almost like a fear factor. Do you ever get that experience where you have a fear factor and you always fear about something that can go totally wrong if you're in a long-term relationship that I have? Yeah, it's true, right? I'm kind of fearing that, you know, I could lose a partnership, like I can lose it. And whenever you are losing something, you won't get it back. You won't, right? It's like a gift. You get something and you will, but you have to wait, right? There are things that you're trying to learn as long as you need to, but you have to remember that this is how it seems to be, you know, because this is between the Sagittarius side and the Scorpio side. That's all it seems to be. So you can see the concept, don't you, right? So now you can see the concept. Now you can know, okay, well, everything seems to be very interesting. Okay, let's keep going. We will. So we know how that is. Now we know, okay, well, what's on the top here, what's on this top up here. So we have something that's over here and over here as well. So on the Sagittarius side, we have the Empress. So this could be maybe getting have a woman on one side. Maybe that could be it. This one over here, the Justice reversed. Okay, so this is for Scorpio as well. So you can see how this is going to go between the left side and the right side as this whole entire situation is. So you can see how that goes, right? You can see how it seems to be, right? So now you can have this fear, way of how you can impose that. So let's see what's the opposite of the Justice card for Scorpio. The Queen of Swords reversed. Yeah, see? So now you think, okay, there's something very interesting with this, right? So we can see more reverse cards over here for Scorpio's side. On the left side, we only have one upright card, that's the Empress, right? So you can see that this is very interesting, right? So you can see that. Not only that this is going to be very interesting, now we know. So now we're going to see, okay, what's in the middle. The Ace of Cups reversed. Yeah, which means you have no beginning. No beginning. Okay? So you can understand how it is, right? Because now it seems to be how this is very interesting. Okay, you see how everything goes and how it seems to be and yada yada yada. But you have to remember that this is how it kind of goes from one side to the other side. Okay, you know how that is. What's opposite of the Ace of Cups? The Queen of Swords reversed. Yeah. See how the Queen of Swords is reversed with Scorpio? Now it's reversed between Sagittarius and Scorpio. Okay. So we know that this is very interesting. Okay, so now we kind of understand that. So let's see something. What's the opposite of the Queen of Swords between Sagittarius and Scorpio? Ah, the Queen of Cups is upright. So it does represent Scorpio in some way. Yes, it does represent Scorpio as, the guy's situation over here. And the woman is the Sagittarius, okay? Remember that. So this is between how it is right now, right? It's the way of how you can process this as long as it needs to. But it's just how it seems to be. Tell me something like the opposite of the Empress card for Sagittarius. And the Three of Wands is upright. Yeah, so it seems to be in my own intuition that it seems to be you're going to do what you need to do. Okay. Now the Three of Wands represents Sagittarius, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries, not Scorpio. So you can see how that concept is. You can see how this is going to be very significant, right? This is just between Sagittarius side and Scorpio side. There, this is how it remains. But now we know that, okay, well, now we're going to figure this out. Yes, this is not over yet. You have to, you have to know when it's over, but it's not really. Let's see. What's opposite of the Three of Wands for Sagittarius? What's opposite of the Queen of Swords for Scorpio? So this one on this side is the Four of Wands is reversed, which means you're not married, right? Okay, so we can understand that concept. And on this side, Page of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, see, you don't know, are you going to do something or not? You know, you think that how everything seems to be interesting with that, right? Because overall, this is a very significant understanding of how it is. Okay, what's opposite of the Page of Pentacles for Scorpio? What's opposite of the Four of Wands for Sagittarius? Oh wow, the Knight of Swords reversed. Wow. So you're not having any victory on your side. And for Scorpio, the Ten of Wands reversed. Yeah, see? So you're feeling like it was burned, you feel like it's abandoned, you know. This is a very significant reading of how this is. Okay? But now you know that okay, well everything seems to be okay. Not necessarily, because now you have to think of what's happening now, right? So this is how you can be understanding of this whole entire way. So let's see what's the opposite of the Knight of Swords. What's the opposite of the Ten of Wands? This one on Sagittarius side. Ah, the Star, that's reversed. Yeah, see? She's not wishing upon something anymore, right? And for Scorpio, the Eight of Pentacles reversed. Yeah, see? Right? He doesn't have the concept of having a career or anything like that, or, you know, there is a understanding of how it is. It could be a misunderstanding, right? So you can understand how it is, right? You can understand that where this is like almost like a play by play, only it's like who's doing this and what's going on and who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes how in that situation. This is almost like a never ending story between a woman and a man at the same time, you know? I'm describing this as a long term relationship, okay? Because this is a good reading between a Scorpio and a Sagittarius, you know? There are two different elements. One's fire, one's water, you know? But in a way of how this is, you have to believe that. You have to think of yourself and saying, okay, what's wrong with Sagittarius? What's wrong with Scorpio? You know, you look at those. You look at that as a different difficult feeling of how everything is. It's like a puzzle. You have to look to see if everything is going to be all good. But if the puzzle doesn't fit, then it doesn't. Now, do you understand? Let's keep going. So you can understand how this concept is. So we could see this as a wonderful feeling so far. Let's see what's opposite of the Star. What's opposite of the Eight of Pentacles for Scorpio. This one over here, Page of Wands reversed for Sagittarius. Alright, interesting. And this one over here for Scorpio, Page of Cups is upright. Yeah, because it does represent Scorpio, right? It does. So it is very interesting, right? It could be peer pressure, it could be that, right? You could see that concept of how it goes. So you can see that, right? You can see how everything seems to be all understanding full, right? Yes, you can understand that. So what's the opposite of the Page of Wands for Sagittarius? And Page of Cups. So this was on for Sagittarius is the Six of Cups. Yeah, see? It seems that, you were trying to get along, you can try to, but then Sagittarius is saying, forget this. And Scorpio on this side is, the fool, that's reversed. Yeah, see, you're not acting like a fool. You know exactly what you're going to do next. You know, you could see it. You could see how this reading is going so far, right? everything is piling up, right? You can see how it is because you can see how this is going to go right now. You just have to find a way, right? You can see how everything can be messed up, but you have to face that. So let's see what's opposite of the Fool for Scorpio. And the Six of Cups here. Let's see. Ah, the Six of Cups reversed. Yeah, so you have that, right? So both of you are, let's see before I turn this up. See the Six of Cups reversed here and reverse here. Both of them are not kind of communicating, right? Basically, there's something that, Sagittarius is pissed off by Scorpio, Scorpio is pissed off by Sagittarius, right? It happens, right? And this one, that's opposite of Six of Cups, is the Tower that's reversed. Yeah, she doesn't want to have any chaos right now, right? She doesn't want that chaos to happen, nothing. But then if this is like a little bit of a way of how it is, you see how it kind of seems to be, right? I'm not bullcrapping you, no. But this is how it seems to be, right? You have to put yourself together and man up, or put yourself together and woman up, whatever it is. You have to you have to believe that, right? You have to see it and you have to. So you can see that. So you can see how this is very interesting of how it is. But we're not over yet. We are getting R, but we're not. Because we want to see what's happening. So what's the opposite of the Tower for Sagittarius? And let's see. The Eight of Swords is upright. Aha, yeah, see? That represents that if there's anxiety, there's something that is very tempting for a Sagittarius, right? Because you're fearing that you don't want to lose him because you're chose him of Scorpio, right? You can see that, right? And this one, let's see, Two of Swords. I mentioned this earlier. So you don't know which direction you're going to take, Scorpio, left or right. Because, in that perspective, okay, I'm not going to be mean or rude. But if you are in this long-term relationship, okay, you have to pay attention whether things can go from a different way, but you have to be a good consideration. Consideration is a wonderful feeling. The way how you can impose a situation. But Scorpio, you have to work as long as they need to, you know? Because my day, just so you all know, it was that I was not thinking to myself, not acting like myself. I was acting like a different person. But whenever you are in a long-term relationship, right, you can't always get what you want. You can't. It's a person who likes to fight for you, or support you, or whatever they want to do. But you have to believe that you can't lose the other person. You can't. You could if you want to. You could. But then you're going to say to yourself, I can't do this anymore. You have to get it to your own perspective and knowing from the right and wrong. You know, if the other person is acting a pain in your butt, or the other person is acting like a pain in your butt, you have to work together. There's no I in team. No. But you have to understand the concept of knowing from right and wrong. If you know the truth, you're going to tell the truth. But if the person does not know what to do, the other person is fearing to lose you, right? Now, sometimes I do be afraid about me kind of crying and feeling hurt for myself. But the other person has to feel that. Feel the vibration. Feel about how you could feel the words that I'm trying to describe with this whole entire long-term relationship story. Because you know why? Let me explain. You have to remember to understand of what's happening. You have to focus. You have to believe in each other. You can't be mean to other person and say, back off, leave me alone, or don't tell me what to do, or don't pressure me, or it's like turning someone down for uh, like knowing about having plans and you know there's something wrong to that picture where you're making plans and all of a sudden do ever you get that feeling whether you make plans with someone and all of a sudden they cancel 1 minute 1 minute, yeah, that's how a long-term relationship feels. That one person is saying, I'm going to cancel. And then the other person feels like, it's not my fault. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. You could see why. Because the tarot that I'm trying to describe to you, that's how it is. Because there's more to the story. Scorpio, if you want to go left or right, you have to choose that. That's where I am right now. Sagittarius on the other side, well, she is basically having anxiety, depression, what's happening. Like she is fearing to lose her long-term relationship boyfriend. You know, it happens. It happens for a reason. And whether the person has to be respectful for the other person without getting mad, without getting excuses, without, telling them that, oh, you have autism, or here, I'll pickering at that, or no, 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 it's not me, it's about you. You have to face your own fears. You have to face your own problem. And there's a saying That is, find a problem to solve a solution. It's all you can do. But you have to remember that this is a very significant way. Yes, yes, maybe the other person is a pain in your butt. Maybe you have to get to that point where, okay, maybe the other person did something wrong, right? The other person cannot, like Sagittarius, cannot blame Scorpio for everything. You can't say, no, 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 you're gonna do this. No, 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 you're gonna do that. No, no, you're gonna. You can't. You can't. You get what you want. You get what you can understand. But if you keep doing it and doing it and doing it, the other person will say, okay, forget this, I'm out here. You know? Yes, it seems to be rude that I'm saying it. But Sagittarius, you have to get to your own way. Yes, it's probably all about you. But the relationship is between teetering, which means it's between going this way, going this way. You know, you have to fix it. Both of you have to fix it. Like for me, I have to fix it. Maybe all my fans don't know why I'm in a long-term relationship, but it involves this story I'm trying to say. Because during my day earlier, I was very upset. I was sad. I was heartbroken. I was not feeling as I used to be. Once you have that emotion switch between happy, angry, sad, confusement, whatever it is, sometimes I get to that point where, okay, I understand you. But then you see the other way saying, I don't understand you. That's the difference. I might be confused, I might not be confused. You have to negotiate, understand, listen to each other. That's all it is. So before I go back to this reading, back to the cards when you see them, you have to understand this. It has to go to the way of how to be expected. You have to believe that you can do it. You can understand this mobility of how everything is. Sagittarius cannot bickering at Scorpio. And if you want to know what bickering is, maybe you can look it up on the internet. But it means, in my own words, it's like bickering is like talking, 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 non-stop, non-stop. You know, because once you talk to the other person, you're trying to hit that angry button inside. Once that goes on, kaboom. You know, so you have to remember that this is how it seems to be. But let's get back to the reading, shall we? So you see how this is, right? You see how it kind of is. Scorpio is going this way or this way. Sagittarius is having anxiety, depression, whatever it is, right? So she's actually fighting for him. He doesn't know which direction you're going to take, left or right. But let's continue, shall we? Let's continue. So let's see what's the opposite of the Eight of Swords reversed or upright. I mean, it's a good reading so far just to understand that. This one, let's see. Ah, the King of Swords is upright. Okay, right? So you understand that feeling, right? And this one over here, Four of Swords is upright. Yeah, so it was reversed earlier, and now it's upright, which means you could be Scorpio is saying, okay, I'm going to take a rest. I don't want to. I'm going to wait until everything is all satisfied. Sagittarius is like thinking, okay, well, I'm going to wait until everything is all cleared. This is how it is, right? So you can understand that when I look at this reading, I'm like starting to laugh and I'm thinking, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Because Sagittarius is waiting for Scorpio, and Scorpio is like saying, ah, forget this, I'm just gonna have a nap. I'm going to wait until everything's clear. You can laugh if you want to. I've been there, wait, right? Like, gosh, I don't know what to say. But it's funny, okay? You can understand how funny this is, right? Because now you have to think, saying, okay, well, now I want to do something now, right? The other person is saying, I'm waiting until I get him. I'm waiting until I get him. And that's what Sagittarius is saying. Scorpio says, I'm just gonna wait until everything's clear. I'm gonna have a nap. You can all laugh if you want to, but this is true funny. So you understand that concept. You can understand that. But you can see how it is. You can see how everything seems to be all fine, dandy, what have you. But this keeps going. This keeps going. So let's keep going, shall we? So you understand how it is, right? So Sagittarius is waiting for Scorpio. Scorpio is just like, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to wait until everything's fine. So I'm still laughing about what I just said earlier. Oh boy. What's opposite of the King of Swords or Sagittarius? Okay, this one for Sagittarius is the Moon. Okay, so she's using intuition because she knows what's happening through this whole entire dynamic, right? And this one for Scorpio is like, the Ten of Swords. Okay, so like he's saying to himself, okay, why I'm doing this, why I have to fight for you, why I have to do everything at once. You could see how that is, right? So it's like you can think that Scorpio is like paying for the toll, like the toll bridge, right? To get to the other side. Sagittarius is saying, come on, come on, come on, if you want me, come and get me. You know? So she's using intuition. Intuition is like you're having a good gut feeling that everything is alright, right? So you could see how that is, right? You could see how this is very significant of how everything's be. Now, now this is a very huge process and progress. This is how it needs to be. Now, it's kind of very interesting of how everything is, right? You can think that this is very a good reading right now, right? You can make that's what making you all laugh because now you have to see clearly of how this is, right? So you can understand that feeling. But let's go back to this situation here. So you understand that Scorpio is like trying to give Sagittarius like maybe flowers and maybe surprise her. And she's using intuition, right? So you can see that this woman over here is between these two, right? So do you know how it's almost like communication, right? So she wants him to communicate with Scorpio. So that's how it seems to be right now. You know, this is how it seems to be. So you know, so you understand how it is. So what's opposite of the Ten of Swords for Scorpio? Is a good reading so far. So this one is, okay, the Justice is reversed for Sagittarius. Okay, interesting. And this one over here is the King of Swords reversed. Okay. So basically, he's not trying to line up, man up. The woman is like thinking that she's waiting until everything's fine, right? She's maybe pissed off at him. Maybe that's how it could be, right? That's how it goes. But when you see that, you see that understanding of how it is. So what's the opposite of the Justice for Sagittarius? So let's see. The King of Pentacles, that's reversed. Okay. So she could be acting like, okay, I'll wait. I'll wait until it's my turn. I'll wait until everything's fine. And Scorpio has the Six of Pentacles, right? So basically, like, he doesn't want to be into poverty. He doesn't want to have, anything that he doesn't want to, right? And this is how it kind of is, right? This is like almost like an acting board thing, right? It's almost acting in one way or another. Now you can see that. You can see that of how this is, right? And you can see how this is kind of going from one element to another element, which means Sagittarius and Scorpio, right? You can see that, right? Now you know, okay, well, everything seems to be all fine, dandy, what have you, right? Right, so let's see. What's also the King of Pentacles for Sagittarius? Okay, let's see. The death that's reversed, right? So now this is not going to be. This was a new beginning, but this is not going to be ending anymore. This is not going to end, right? For Sagittarius. And Scorpio has the Seven of Cups. So he could be having everything that he could decide to. So, this could be very practical of how it seems to be for interesting of how it goes, right? You see how everything seems to be all happy, 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 and everything seems to be all fine, wild, whatever it is. But then you see how everything is, right? What's opposite of death card for Sagittarius? The Ten Pentacles is upright. Yeah, so she's waiting until that that decision is made for her, where she has the way of how this give and take situation, where she's gonna wait until it's time. Because if you look at this card over here, this is like it has the treasure chest, and it has money inside, right? So she's waiting for Scorpio. So that's how it is. Scorpio has the Judgment. So like he kind of is waiting until, okay, am I going to do this? right? Am I going to do exactly how I planned out? She's kind of like waiting until he does the right thing, right? And this is very interesting of how this reading goes, okay? So this is how it kind of is at this moment, where things can go from a different way, but now you have to see it as it is, right? So you can see, okay, this is how it is. So let's subset of the Justice card for Scorpio. Ah, the Four of Cups is reversed. Okay, all right. So basically, he's trying to not lose everything that he wanted. He's trying to not. Sagittarius is like, Magician is reversed. Yeah, so she's not being having any plans to do anything right now, right? So she's waiting until he makes the right decision, right? All he wants is her. She wants him. It kind of goes both ways, right? So you can see how this is very significant on how it goes, right? You see how everything kind of changes for a reason. That reason is that this is how it kind of is. You just have to find it, right? And this is almost over. Just to let you know, between this side, because we're going to there's another tarot here, and there's the oracle cards that we're going to add more. So this is how it seems to be, right? Everything kind of changes for a reason, and that reason is where you can understand of how the person is, right? You can see of how it goes, right? This is how it kind of is at the moment. So you could see that as a wonderful way. So I'll do one more shuffle. Okay, so it's the opposite of the magician for Sagittarius. Let's see. The Two of Swords is reversed. Yeah, so she knows exactly which direction she's gonna take. She's already know that she's going to have him. That's how it is, right? Scorpio has the Ten of Cups reversed. Yeah, see, the problem is that he doesn't want to lose everything, right? He doesn't want to lose. He doesn't. He already lost what he had before, okay? But then this is all kind of different, right? It's a wishy-washy. It's a wishy-washy, which means that you were feeling happy, then you're feeling sad, right? You were into that position where you were all sad for a minute, but you're trying to start to be happy, right? It's between where you're all happy or you're sad for a minute, then all of a sudden you get, feeling very, you know, being funny for a minute, and then you're acting like it's a little bit sad, right? It's the way of how it is, right? It's the way of how you master your own decisions, your own emotions of how it is, right? You can focus on that. Focusing is the right way, the right motto, the right play. That's how it seems to be. But you have to focus on that. Focusing is the right way, the right attitude, the right format. And that's how it seems to be. If the other person has to act like, there's nothing wrong to that, you have to face that. Facing is the only way you can do that. Not to drag the person down and say, okay, you're going to do this, or else I'm going to do something. You know, if the other person is making that person jealous, if it's between Sagittarius and Scorpio, Scorpio does not want to get jealous by Sagittarius. Sagittarius doesn't want to get jealous by Scorpio, right? This is why it seems to be. You have to appreciate of what you're going to do in this long-term relationship, okay? Because what I felt in my own experience when I had this this circulating problem, whatever it is, I was between angry, naive, pissed off, whatever it is. And then I felt jealousy a little bit. Why? Because Sagittarius, on the other hand, is saying, okay, well, if you're not going to do this, I'm going to do something to make you jealous. I'll go cross over that line. I'll cross over that boundary, that barrier. Sagittarius, the Scorpio is saying, no, 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 don't do that, or else you're going to lose me. So now, if you haven't if you haven't heard about this story, it's between a person who's involved with a person, like as in a long-term relationship, girlfriend, boyfriend, right? Sometimes I get along, sometimes the person does not get along. But we are all human after all, aren't we? Yeah. So you can see this is how it's going to be. This is how I'm going to explain this. It's the way of how you can understand what's happening. And you have to focus on that ability. You have to know from right and wrong. You know, if Scorpio is acting like he did something wrong, Sagittarius has to take it as a grain of salt and say, okay, I'll do what I need to do for you. You know, and this is how it seems to be. You have to know that whether it seems to be how everything is good, but you know how it seems to be. You have to put it into perspective. Putting it in perspective is almost like towards a man's heart. You have to wait until that moment, right? It's like having a spark, chemistry, not chemistry with science, no, chemistry. That you know the other person, but that person say, "Oh my lord, I'm gonna like this person. I'm gonna," that's how it seems to be. So you can see the concept. You can see how this is like almost like a back and forth situation. But you know for a fact that this is a very prompting, interesting way of how I can explain it between a Sagittarius side and the Scorpio side. Both can be all great and yes, but then everything kind of kaput. Like everything can be backfired, right? I have been there where sometimes I'm all happy and all of a sudden I'm between happy and angry. You know, you have to believe that you can do this. Let's keep going. So this is how it seems to be right now. So you know how Sagittarius is doesn't know, like already know exactly which direction she gonna take. Scorpio is like saying, okay, well, I just lost everything, right? He just lost everything. That's how it seems to be. So we're almost done with this back and forth situation. So what's the opposite of the Two of Swords for Sagittarius? and then we're going to do the tarot over here for that to see what's happening, and then the oracle cards, and then we're almost at the end of this reading, this story. The Knight of Swords reversed. Okay, so there's no victory right now. There's no victory right now for, like, for Sagittarius. She's just saying, okay, I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna do exactly what I'm going to do. And for Scorpio, the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, see, he is thinking of her, right? He is thinking of her, and that's how it seems to be, right? You can have this situation, say, okay, well, now this is kind of interesting. This is almost how it is, right? Because you could see it as the way of how it is, right? You understand that. So what's the opposite of the Knight of Swords reversed? Tell me something. What's the opposite of that card for Sagittarius? Ah, the Justice. Yeah. So Scorpio had justice earlier, so now she's going to be having justice. Yeah, so she's going to wait until everything seems to be finalized. Right? That's how it is. Waiting is a possibility out there, right? You have to believe that, this is how it seems to be, right? So you know that this is a very significant reading. So now we know that, okay, this is how it's going to be. So you know for a fact that this is how it's going to be. Now going to get into the bigger cards. This is still acting like a Sagittarius and Scorpio. So this is very interesting of how it is. I know that this is a long reading, but just hear me out of how this is. Sagittarius is King of Earth, generous, professional, responsible, practical. A successful time, confidently accept opportunities you are offered, the mind is touched. So this could be the way of how Sagittarius is doing, right? She could be professional. She can just wait until a successful time, confidently accept opportunities you are offered. That's how it is. You're just waiting for that situation of how Scorpio is feeling. And let's see what Scorpio has. Is Ace of Earth is the inflow of abundance, a promising business venture, important documents or contracts. Exactly. So he's waiting, like he already has a contract. He already has, inflow abundance and promising business venture, whatever it is. So he's kind of like saying, okay, fine, I'll do whatever you decide to do. This is how it seemed to be. So you can see how this is kind of like almost a back and forth situation. But you can see how this is, right? Because therefore this is a very concept reading, right? This is how it seems to be. Uh, let's see. So we know how that is. Now we're going to see how this is going to be. I just shuffle these, but let's see what's happening for a Sagittarius and this. So let's see what's happening with the months. So this one is for Sagittarius is the 36th. Aha. So this is like December. Okay, so this could be last month, but this is how it seems to be. And this one's for Scorpio is the 14th card. Okay, so we're going to look at that too. So let's see what's happening for Sagittarius side. The 36 is the cross, that's what it stands for. Timing is from 21st to 31st of December. So this could be last month, okay? Now, for the past or unexpected or basically um, so number C for position 4, it says, after having suffered betrayal and sorrow, your partner takes revenge. So it means that it could be maybe taken advantage of, maybe that could be interesting for that. Or it could be a breakup or a lawsuit, something that could be. It could be, let's see, what else I could find in here. Money could be position 1, it could be despite not having a lot of ready cash, you invest it blindly. It could be that. It could be number D for position 2 for the past present. So the present is money well spent for a young person's studies or couple's cultural interests. Or it could be letter C is important expenses in real estate trading taken on too lightly. Uh, or it could be um, for letter C is deserved punishment, financial denied by bank, loan granted only with high interest rate, whatever it is. So maybe you could be seeing about that. So that could be all the money situation. That could be having in your own way. Uh, so this could be like the feelings, but this is how it kind of is. Like you could be for letter C for position 3 of unexpected events. It says cold cold shower is your partner played with your heart, betrayed you, ignored you, and now has left you. So you could be, so she could be saying, okay, well, forget this. I'm going to wait until I feel more expensed where I can try to get Scorpio back because that's how it seems to be. And this is how it seems to be, okay? You know exactly how it did, how it was. It was wrong. You know, this is how it seems to be. It was wrong for that. You know, this is how it is. So you can understand that. Okay, so now we're going to look at Scorpio. Yeah, we're going to look at Scorpio. So Scorpio over here, the man side. Timing is from 11th to the 20th of May. So this is kind of like seems to be, right? So basically for the feelings, it could be uh, for the past position, present situation, and unexpected. Like there, this is how I'm going to explain this. For letter D, it says life full of events, encounters, happiness, but without important love affairs. You treat everything like a game. Um, for letter C, reckless life without values. You played with someone's heart. Exactly could be that. For position 2, for present, is a person near you has a hidden intention. Treat him or her nicely, but keep an eye on him or her, right? It could be misunderstood or unrecognized feelings, right? It could be that. For position 3, unexpected events. This is interesting. For number D, for letter D, a gift without reason, not connected to any event, reveals feelings of love from a person who has been making passes at you from some time. Yeah, that's very interesting. Uh, for letter C, I don't know. But position 4, result is for letter D is be optimistic for your future feelings. You are about to meet a special person, and then receive muddled up story with no future. Yeah, see? So there are things that, if you treat everything like a game, you know, Scorpio, you're kind of like acting like that. You know, Sagittarius wants what she wants. Scorpio is just waiting. You know, now what I'm trying to explain in this whole entire way, this is what happens when you're in a long-term relationship. How I can explain this? You have to understand that this can be good or not so good. But you have to believe that you could do whatever you want to do. Yes, sometimes you get angry at your partner. Maybe the other partner is angry at you. But you have to remember that, Scorpio, everything is not a game. Now, for me, that if I'm a Scorpio, I am actually. Yes, I can see that as not a game. But if the other person is acting, being selfish, or, you know, having that person to piss you off, you have to see it in order to believe that concept. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, am I okay? Is it me or is it the other person? You know, you have to face that. You have to face that ability to know from right to wrong in that situation. If the other person is waiting until it's time, you have to know. You have to believe that you can do this. In order to succeed, you can do whatever you want to do. You know, this is how I'm trying to say this in my own words. It happens for a reason. And the reason is you have to believe that the person has to act like there's nothing wrong. Like there's pretending that there's no problem. But in fact, what the cards are saying to me, yes, there is a problem. You have to fix that. You have to know that you can do this as long as you need to, you know? You have to understand that. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be rude. But Sagittarius, you have to understand that you have to think before you act. Such as the way of have to understand about what's happening. You have to believe that you can do this as long as you need to. This is how you can understand of what's happening. Understand about this is not a characterization, nothing about that. You have to know if the other person is feeling that like this, crossed arms, you know that's a negative feeling. If the person is having no arms like this, means that they're okay. But if you're reading words and, if it's between a WhatsApp situation, which means uh, an app that you're using, or you have to remember that this is a very huge concept of knowing from what to do next, right? It can't always be about the person all the time. It can't. It has to work both ways, you know? You have to believe that you can do this as long as you need to, you know? You have to do that. You have to face, you have to understand about what's happening, you know? And tell you the truth, you have to understand the concept. You have to. If you're waiting for Scorpio, Sagittarius, you have to wait. You can't always say to that person, why are you nagging? Why are you complaining? That's plain rude. Like, I'm not saying it to all my fans when I'm saying that. No, I'm just telling you what's about this reading is about. Because what can I say? If you're in a long-term relationship and it's difficult for one person, you have to remember that there is a different side to that story. You know, this is an almost way to say this, that I said this in the reading, and I said that this is like a fear factor, right? You're fearing that you're going to lose that person, and the person is going to say, I'm not going to do this anymore. But if the person seems to be, gets mad at you, doesn't say anything, and cuts you off of a conversation, and you're trying to do something, and the person saying, no, 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 you did this, you did that, you did this. The other person will say, okay, forget this, I'm out, you know. Sagittarius has to not be mean to a Scorpio like me. You have to remember that. You have to go slow. And there's a good saying for that, and I'll say it. Slow and steady wins the race. You have to wait. You have to take time, you know. Because if you go overboard and you say something that you should not be saying, you have to take the step back and wait. That's all you have to do, says Darius. And Scorpio, for me, I know that it's not a game to, have a long-term relationship with somebody. But I could be fearing that if you don't know about having feelings, then you're thinking, what's happening? Did I do something wrong? Did I do something bad? Right? You have to face your own ability to know from right and wrong. I know, right? Okay, so we know about that. And by the way, I almost cried to that thing. Okay, almost cried. So now we're going to look at the oracle cards over here. We're going to look at these that I said about at almost the end. The playing cards, and then it's going to be the ending. So let's see what's happening through a Sagittarius side and a Scorpio side. So this one is do the right thing. That's yes, Sagittarius, yes. You're going to do the right thing, okay? You have to do that. Do the right thing. Wait for Scorpio. That's all you have to do. And Scorpio side, cooperate with others. With the dolphin. Yeah, see, you're going to cooperate with others. You do exactly what you want to be told what to do, but you have to, you know, do not want to interfere with Sagittarius. Do not make her upset. But you have to remember that this is a very interesting reading of how this is. You have to keep that in mind, right? You have to do that. Because in order to look at this up, empathy and service, empathy was Sagittarius, I believe. Service was Scorpio, okay? So Sagittarius is saying, I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. That's what she's going to do. Scorpio is having service. I feel good when I can help others, right? So he can be doing the right thing to help her, to help him, to help her, okay? This is how it seems to be. Now, that's how that is. So we know for that assistance of knowing from that perspective and knowing that we can understand of how it is, we see this. Okay, we see how everything kind of is. So we're going to see how it seems to be with the oracle cards, like I say, and then we're going to do the playing cards, and then this is going to almost end the reading because this is a huge reading, and I don't want to go any further. So I hope that all my fans will read this, understand this whole entire thing, this long-term relationship. So let's see. Let's see. So let's see what's after empathy for Sagittarius and what's opposite of service for Scorpio. This one, peace. I'm being of love and I'll release all negative energy. So she can be waiting, right? And that's how it is. She doesn't want to get angry at him. She has to wait. And this one, perseverance. I love this card. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. Exactly. So he's going to wait until everything seems to be all good and finalized. That's how it is. And let's see who's following Sagittarius. This one, let's see. This Seven of Spades represents Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. And last one is the King clubs represents Leo, Aries, Sagittarius. So we have an air sign and a fire sign in this situation. So this is how it seems to be. So before I let you all go, you have to pay attention whether you have to know exactly from what you're going to do. And it's a way of how you can understand of what's happening through this way of how it goes. Yes, you have to believe what's the other person is, but this is how it seems to be. Knowing that this is how it's going to be, and you do what you can, you know. This is how it kind of goes, and you can understand that. And you have to believe about what the other person is saying or doing, but this is how it is. Okay? So understand that. Think about this, and I hope that this will be a good reading. Thank you very much. Have a good day to all, and bye for now. Bye.